Macro and market update this morning with links. After SVB failure, US acts to shore up confidence in banking system. After a dramatic weekend, US regulators said the failed bank's customers will have access to all their deposits starting from Monday, and regulators set up a new facility to give banks access to emergency funds. The Federal Reserve also made it easier for banks to borrow from it in emergencies. The US administration stepped in with a series of emergency measures to shore up confidence in the banking system after the failure of Silicon Valley Bank threatened to trigger a broader systematic crisis. India's foreign exchange reserves grew by $1.5 billion. dollars. After four consecutive weeks of decline, the Reserve Bank of India's foreign exchange reserve rose by $1.5 billion dollars to $562.4 billion dollars in the week ended March 3rd. The rise was largely on account of an increase in the RBI's foreign currency assets, which climbed $1.2 billion dollars to $497.1 billion dollars in the last week. Indian central government tightens regulations for states' capital expenditures loan. The central government has placed strict conditions on states to avail of the rupees 1.3 trillion in the long-term loans for their capital expenditure needs in the approaching fiscal year to ensure effective utilization of funds. Of the rupees 1.3 trillion, rupees 1 trillion will be untied funds. However, even in the untied funds, there are conditions to ensure that the money is effectively spent by states on capex projects. US said to further tighten chip making exports to China. Bloomberg News said the Biden administration is working to further tighten restrictions on exporting semiconductor manufacturing gear to China, Bloomberg News reported. The government has briefed US companies about the plan and told them it expects to announce the restrictions as early as next month, the report said. Moreover, administration plans to coordinate with the Netherlands and Japan, according to the report. United States non-farm payrolls declined. Unemployment rate edged up in Feb 23. The US economy unexpectedly created 311K jobs in February month of 2023, well above market forecast of 205K and following a downwardly revised 504K in January month. The reading continues to point a tight labor market. However, unemployment rate in the US edged up to 3.6% in February 2023, up from a 50-year low of 3.4% seen in January month. UK plans £11 billion business tax break in budget, Bloomberg News said. British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt will hand businesses a 3-year tax break worth £11 billion by replacing the UK's investment allowance with a temporary measure in next week's budget. Bloomberg News reported Hunt will limit the relief to 3 years and propose a permanent replacement in the ruling Conservative Party's manifesto before the next election, the report said. China outstanding yuan loan growth accelerated. Vehicle sales registered massive growth in Feb 2023. Outstanding yuan loans in China grew 11.6% from a year earlier in February 2023, accelerating from an 11.3% advance in January and beating market expectations of 11.4%. Interestingly, auto sales in China surged by 13.5% from a year earlier to nearly 1.98 million units in February 2023, rebounding sharply from a 35% plunge in the previous month. Brazil inflation softened in Feb 2023. Brazil's consumer price inflation eased for an eighth consecutive month to 5.6% YOY in February month of 2023, the lowest level in 2 years. Still, the rate came in slightly above market expectations of 5.54%. Asian markets, Brent $83.07, DXY 103.815. US 10 years yield is 3.727%. 3.727% and SGX Nifty is minus 0.28%. Stay tuned with Blinks.